I want you to come with us to Alabama.
You want me, a black girl from Massachusetts, to get on a bus with a white girl from the suburbs and head down to Alabama in 1961?
Yes, we have to join in. We have to take a stand. We can't sit on the sidelines while our fellow man is faced with such hate and oppression.
You sound like a commercial out the Peace Corps. What stand will we be taking exactly?
12 of us, black and white, are going to ride a bus down into the South, all the way to Alabama, and show the world that we are united to end racism and hatred.
So you're going to end racism by riding on a bus.
It's the symbol we need. It's a freedom ride to end hate and ignorance.
I can see it now. Hey everybody, let's go ride the end racism bus. I don't think you get it. You're not the one faced with hate and oppression. I am.
We are all faced with that hatred. It's the 1960s. Now is the time to show that integration is the future. Black and white should live together, not as separate but equal nonsense. We can show the world that desegregation is the only true, fair way to live.
I think it's great that you want to get involved, but I don't think you know what you're talking about.
I can understand injustice. I can understand how foolish and stupid the South is for not allowing blacks to use the same water fountains as whites.
It's not that simple. You have never been the target of all the hate. You have never felt you should apologize for your existence. You should never have to apologize for being here. We may not have Jim Crow laws up here in the North, but blacks are not treated the same.
Jim Crow laws are just why you should come with us. They are calling it a freedom ride. There's plenty of room.
Buses are coming, oh yes. Buses are coming, buses are coming, buses are coming, oh yes. Better get ready, oh yes. Better get you ready, oh yes. Better get it.
In the South, they don't let blacks and whites use the same buses, bathrooms, or hotels. They can't even eat at the same restaurant. For some reason, they can't see the basic humanity inside each one of us, regardless of skin color. I can't even imagine what that must be like.
What do you want?
Would like some service, please.
We'd like some service, please.
Look, why don't you just leave before there's trouble? I don't think you know how ugly things can get around here real fast.
We are aware of that.
Got trouble here, Susan? I can handle this, Earl. And Arlene, I can handle this. Going back to the kids. Why don't you just give me something to eat, Arlene, before there's trouble? Go on back.
Look here, you might not be able to read, but I think you can figure out what that sign says.
I can read just fine. The sign says whites only, and I'd still like some service, please.
I'm sorry, but I'm a big believer in law and order around here. And that sign is law.
Would like some service, please.
I don't care what you like. I ain't gonna serve you, not now, not ever.
Would like some service, please.
My name is Diane Nash, and I sat at many lunch counters in the 1960s. People have always asked me why we did what we did in all those sit-ins. They asked me, how could you sit there as people called you horrible names? And how to react when someone poured ketchup all over your finely pressed blouse? How could you sit there knowing that someone might decide to hurt you, maybe kill you at any moment? We can continue to live in a world like that. But at the same time, violence only leads to more violence. I have to admit that when the civil rights leaders were calling on everyone to use non-violent protest, I was convinced it could never work.
As you can see, we went going to a restaurant and asked for service. We called this testing. Then we heard other young people doing the same thing, and we began to organize. By the time I left college, I decided to work full-time on the civil rights movement. In 1962, my wife was 23 in Mississippi, encouraging young people to ride the non-integrated bus system. Since she was encouraging minors to do something illegal, a warrant was issued for her arrest.
When I appeared in court, I sat in the front row. A bailiff ordered me to sit in the back. I refused.
She was sentenced for 10 days for contempt of court. She was suspecting a baby, and I was very worried that when she was taken off to jail. Those 10 days were hard. The jail has so many car brushes that she soon learned to sleep up and sleep during the day so that she could then sit up at night and dodge them as they hear her cough. She took a toothbrush, a comb, some extra clean clothes, and some vitamins for our baby, but they would not let her have any of those things.
See, I never got to the point where I had to quit because when officials tried to take my dignity, it deepened my resolve and made me angrier.
I think we live in a better world by keeping our pride. A better world where we can see our baby grow up in. We students have been segregated, and they could have killed us, but they could not segregate us any longer. I think some of the students that participated think that we could change the world, and I still think we can.
I just can't imagine why those people down south would hate Negroes so much. The rights they are fighting are so simple. People should be equal regardless of their color. What is so complicated about that?
Sounds pretty complicated to me. While we're at it, I don't think we should lay this all down at the south, feet of the South. I mean, the North doesn't do so much to make the Negro feel at home.
Last time I checked, you weren't prevented from using a public bathroom here in Massachusetts.
Jennifer, it's not that simple. Let's be honest. How would you feel if I moved next door?
I think it would be great.
Well, you're a freak for 1961. We all know that if I were to bring all of my cousins and a moving van and we start moving in, they'll sit here and say, those people are moving in, and you and I both know what they mean when they say, those people. They mean my people.
You can't say it's as bad here in the North as in the South.
Some ways it's worse, because it's hidden. What about the way they look at me when I walk into class at Harvard? They would never kick me out, but I can tell what they're thinking. What is someone like her doing here? Probably got here because of those liberals with affirmative action.
That may be, but no one prevents you from being here.
True, but what about where they live up here? Look at the neighborhoods, look at the schools. Here in the North, you don't see a lot of integration either.
Yes, but that's by choice, not by law.
Is that any better? The situation is the same, whether the law forces segregation or people choose it. Only in the North is it de facto segregation. The law doesn't do it to the people. So not only does the law need to change, but the people need to change everywhere.
The freedom ride starts here in Massachusetts. I guess it would be good to go through several other states, like New York and Pennsylvania as well.
Do you think you're really going to change anything getting a bunch of white and black people together on a bus?
We have to start somewhere.
Maybe it's not the right place. I wonder, what would it really accomplish? There have been a lot of thinkers who have called for more drastic action than a bus ride. In my African American history class, we were reading about W.E.B. Du Bois, and he said,
For ourselves every single right that belongs to a free American, political, civil, and social. And until we get these rights, we will never cease to protest and assail the ears of America.
Fine word, Mr. DeGosh. Fine word. Bully for USA. You are quite the order.
Thank you, President Roosevelt. Now, if only I could get a man such as yourself to really hear what I am saying. It is the beginning of the 20th century, and still the Negro is a second-class citizen.
Second class? Hardly. Just a few short years ago, the Negroes were afforded separate but equal facilities by our Constitution.
Yes, the Plessy versus Ferguson case out of Louisiana. Mr. Homer Plessy had the nerve to try to ride on the whites-only train car. He was in truth and doctrine one-eighth an African American.
The court made sure that Mr. Plessy and others like him will have facilities just as good as the white hats. What could be more fair than that?
You are creating two Americans, one black and one white. It is quite clear that they will never become one.
But what about your friend, Mr. Booker T. Washington? Why, just the other day, he was the first Negro to dine with me in the White House. Now, what did he say at dinner? In all things that are purely social, we can be as separate as the 5 fingers, yet one is the hand in all things essential to mutual progress. That's the key. We will remain separate socially, but legally, we must slowly work together, not rock the boat, and so on.
Washington will never go far enough. The black man is a proud man and can only exist if we separate.
It seems to me to separate is about the same as just giving up. I'll be honest with you, DuBose. You and I might not like each other. And truth be told, there are clear differences amongst our peoples. But who's to say our grandchildren can't play together?
You are talking about generations in the future. The Negro must have satisfaction now.
You ask too much. Too soon.
Our grandchildren can never play together at this rate.
Maybe they can, but we'll sure as San Juan Hill. We'll never know if we just stick our heads in the sand and try to ignore one another.
I do not ignore Mr. Roosevelt. It is 1901, and this century is young. I can speak with no hesitation, with no lack of faith, for I know that as the world grows better, there will be realized in our children's lives that for which we fight unfalteringly but vainly now.
Why did the voters dislike Booker T. Washington?
He felt Washington compromised too much. Mr. Du Bois eventually moved to Africa. He gave up on America.
Doesn't sound like his ideas gave up the hope for making things better.
It's just that there's so much in this country that are wrong. History that makes me doubt that Freedom Ride is really going to do anything.
What if Thurgood Marshall had the same idea?
That was in a court of law. A great legal victory. Justice Warren wrote the decision, but it was Linda Brown and Harry Briggs who had the real courage.
2, 4, 6, 8. We don't want to integrate. 2, 4, 6, 8. We don't want to integrate.
That's what you bought to my house, and now I gotta go talk about town off there to high school. I gotta walk all the way to the first floor.
I get so tired of walking that I sometimes take a nap. All the kids in my school had to walk to South Carolina. I have to walk 5 miles each way. My teacher asked for us, and they said they didn't have enough. White kids got a whole fleet of buses, and they wouldn't even let us have one.
My dad said he's going to pop for us to ACT.
What's that?
His national vision for the investment policy. My dad made never like that. Pretty good, isn't it? And they don't want me in the classroom.
Yeah, my dad already talked to them. It was really nice when that man Thurgood Marshall came and talked to us. After Mr. Marshall was there, my dad lost his job, and a whole bunch of men came and put a cross in our yard and set the whole thing on fire.
My dad said they were taking the dinner and we were going with the other kids.
I sure hope so. I'm tired of walking.
Harry, wake up! It was being quite in Washington, D.C. that said Mr. Marshall was right.
In Washington today, the Supreme Court ruled that separate but equal is unconstitutional. Tension is rising in the South. We don't want them in our schools. They have their own schools. It's against the laws of God. No judge in Washington is going to make my kids go to school with colors. All schools are ordered to integrate immediately.
Mr. Marshall was right.
About what?
You keep looking over word and stuff said that folks have to keep back to white boys for the building. He said 1954, separate, but equal was not right anymore. And the Old Testament verses was all wrong.
You mean,
That's right, Harry. Let's go for it.
how many of you like school? Imagine having to fight just to get government to let you into school.
We want a chance to say that to white kids. You know, all the fun things, like homework. Who likes homework?
Who likes tests?
Who likes going to assembly?
Who likes getting called to the principal's office?
You know, like all these things, the imaginary school for the entire town are as good as everybody else.
You may not like school all the time, but now we get the chance to be who we want.